Good evening, everyone. We're going to have our program start about 7:40, so please make sure you get drinks. We have a silent auction over there. We're going to get our NFT launch and program started about 7:40. So we got drink tickets. We got amazing food for the Twisted Tuna. Giorgio made it out of his house for once, so it's a big night.
I love the pain, and I love the way that your breath loves me like Novocaine, and we are always high. Keep it strange, okay, I'm the same, but you're the same. Take a picture, transformation, hey, but you're here, so it's an obligation. I'm no fiction, and I'm not forced inside your head. That's just telling you to listen to all the bad things they say that you said. I want you forever.
At the Home Depot, when you buy select Ryobi tools, you'll get an extra Ryobi 1+ battery for free. Now you can give a gift that not only keeps on giving, but also keeps your favorite tools going. So whether your holidays sound like this, or this, we have the gifts to make your holiday magic. Plus, get free delivery on 2 million eligible items from the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Hey Lisa, how do you get to the top?
Calculating. Proceed to 1959. Take a hard left in East Africa at the 71 Safari Rally. Veer right for 19 off-road championships in the Black Desert. Proceed towards Peru. Take the trail to the House Revenge. Become steep incline. Continue for the next 4 miles.
And where to first to go? 60 years, millions of miles, and the capability to take you anywhere. This is the new Nissan.
All right, whoa. So welcome to the NFT launch for Palm Beach, or Lighthouse Palm Beach County. We're gonna get started in about 20 minutes. We've got food back here provided from Twisted Tuna, amazing drinks. Make sure you take care of your bartenders, tip them well. They come up here and do these things for us. And John's here with this shirt he got from Baby Gap. Giorgio's out in public. So we're gonna get started about 7:40 and we'll kind of share with you exactly what's going on.
Let me guess. Unknown caller. You can reduce the number of unwanted calls and emails with online privacy protection. The latest innovation from Discover. We'll help regularly remove your personal info, like your name and address, from 10 popular people search websites that could sell your data. And we'll do it for free. Activate in the Discover app. See terms and learn more at discover.com/online privacy protection.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
Me too. I feel so much better when I'm dancing. I'm just saying.
get started in about 10 minutes. So if you got to get to the bathroom, get another drink, get some food, Daniel, get that live streaming ready to go. Daniel's already on a break. All right, about 10 minutes and we'll get rolling.
Bless you. Sorry, the second one. The first one is superhero, second one, Hall of Fame.
Get what you want and pay over time when you use your Lowe's Advantage Card. Now through October 26, 2022. Ask for 0% APR with 36 fixed monthly payments on a product installation or appliance purchase of $1,000 or more. Shop for the appliances you want in store or online. Or go to the store nearest you for installation. Now at Lowe's. Offer subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store at Lowe's.com for details. U.S. only.
Aiden presents a tale of longing and long-lasting sight. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to you, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of game flames. And now, for a limited time, get $10 back when you spend $30.
All right, everyone. All right, if everyone can kind of grab your seats, we're going to get started in about 2 minutes. We're going live on our live stream, and then we will get started. All right, we're going to play this one song that really means a lot when it comes to what we're going to be talking about tonight. And then we will get started, and I will introduce our lady of the hour.
Took away the prophet's dream for a prophet on the street. But she's stronger than you know. A heart of steel starts to grow. All his life he's being told he'll be nothing when he's old. All the kicks and all the blows he won't
Thank you everyone for coming out today. This is a very special day for everybody. This is one of our first kickoffs for Snap Cares. Snap Cares is an organization that helps raise funds for charities and other individuals. We reached out to Palm Beach Lighthouse, or Lighthouse Palm Beach, because of a connection with Paul. And that's what all of us have, is a connection. A connection to other people, a connection to what we do. So I want to say thank you all for coming out today, and I'd like to introduce Paul. Paul's going to discuss why we're all here, to be honest with you. So thank you very much again for coming.
Garrett is so prim and proper. So this is Friday night. We're supposed to have fun on a Friday night. So just so you understand, I'm not one of those speakers that's like very serious, and I will make fun of my friends while I'm up here because that's what we do on a Friday night normally. So after this fundraiser, Giorgio has something that he got bit by a spider, so we're having a fundraiser for his eye and whatever's going there after we get done. So what we want to do tonight is I'm going to kind of tell you how Snap Cares came about. I have business partners. We own a company that is based about its delivery. We started a company that was out to disrupt the delivery industry. If you've ever heard of Uber Eats, DoorDash, companies like that, we wanted to do something different.
Gotcha. Go ahead. Keep going.
Don't got me.
Try again.
Are you done? I'm just going to mess him up even more. I'll turn those glasses off. There you go. Get your girl. So, we started a business about a year and a half ago called Snap Delivered, and it was all about delivery, and we wanted to disrupt the status quo, and that's what I've always done my whole career. I've gone out and I found a big problem, found a big solution, and I usually came up with big paychecks. But I also, along the way, figured out that giving back is extremely important. But I got really disillusioned with charity for a few years, because how many realize when you start making a lot of money, somebody wants to get it? I don't care if it's the IRS, an ex-wife, an attorney, like somebody wants to get that money. And I used to think it was so awesome because they always wanted me to go to these galas, and you got to go spend $750 or $1,000 to go to a gala, and at the end of the night, and I know this is going to sound bad, but nothing got cured. I mean, how many of you realize there's been a lot of charities around for a lot of years, and things don't always get done because of bureaucracy and things of that nature? Well, I was invited to go to a charity event, I don't even know how long ago it was, but it was at La Masseria, and they said, there's an amazing subject that they're going to be talking about tonight, and it's sex trafficking. And I'm like, that doesn't sound amazing to me. Like, how many of you realize that sounds like something horrible, right? Sounds like something bad. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to go listen to that. But it was a good friend of mine. It was at La Masseria. I love their food. So I went, and I had the privilege that night of being awoken. Like, I started realizing that there's so many things I didn't understand. Because how many of you have ever heard the word trafficking or something like that, and you think that happens in another country or around the world or somewhere else, and I didn't realize it happens right here in front of us every single day. And it comes in all different types of forms. And I saw this little lady that was at the front of the room, and I'm like, what is she gonna do to change this? Like, then I heard her speak, and I heard her talk with passion, and then I figured out that she carried guns with her, and I was like, you know what? This is something I can get behind. Somebody that's actually making a real difference in people's lives on the front line. Because if you know me and you're around my business, I don't expect anyone in my business to do anything that I won't do. I don't expect anybody to make a phone call that I won't make. I don't expect anybody to do anything that I won't do. And so when I met Becky, she was that person. And she and I started talking. We had breakfast a few times. She asked me if I wanted to go walking with her, and obviously I said no, by the looks of me. But we got to spend a lot of time together, and I mean, I got to know her heart, I think she got to know me, and we weren't able to do anything right away. But whenever my business partners, Kenny and Rochelle and Garrett, came up with this idea, I was like, I know who we need to go talk to first. And I didn't have to convince her. I didn't have to say, she just said, whatever it is, I'm in. And so tonight is the first one. We have probably hundreds, if not thousands, of people around the country that got to witness and listen to her last weekend at a seminar. And I'm telling you, there was not a dry eye in that place. Because I'm good at making people cry, I'm just kidding. But listening to her and her stories and what she does, like struck such a nerve with one of the people in my company. They donated $1,000 speak. That was on Thursday, right? On Friday. Then on Saturday, it happened again. And so what an NFT is, and I'm going to explain a lot more about it at the end of it. It stands for non-fungible token. And I didn't understand what that was. I thought that was a crazy. We went to conferences, and I knew less when I came back from the conference than when I went to it. I thought it was just a bunch of idiots that were rich paying for some art. How many of you have ever thought that that's maybe what it is? Like, oh, you buy a picture and you go look at it. Like, that's crazy to me. But it's more of having the authenticity of it. We have an amazing artist. My friend Pedro, his brother-in-law, is one of the most world-renowned in Ecuador as a top sculptor, right? He's a sculpturist, or whatever you call those people. He's won awards. He's an amazing artist. He actually came up with this, put together our logo, and he's an amazing artist. And what it is, these are one-of-a-kind works of art, but it's not just about the work of art. It's about what utility goes with it, about value. Because I believe if you're willing to part with your money and you're willing to support something like what you're going to hear about tonight, I think that you should get something in return. Like, I would go to these big galas and I would spend all this money and I would go home and be full, but the next day I'd be like, I don't know exactly where that money's going. Did that money just go for me to pay for a big cover charge tonight? It was nice. I mean, some of these galas are amazing. Like, it's walking into it. I went to one that was a Marvel, like, superheroes theme, and it was amazing. But I was like, couldn't that money have been spent somewhere better? And so doing NFTs, and you're gonna find out what you can get. We have, in the back, we have silent auction. We have all kinds of things, and this is the first of many, but I wanna bring up someone that I have immense respect for. I want her to share part of her story. She has some of the ladies that she's helped that are gonna do it. So please give a warm welcome to Miss Becky Diamond.
So I was minding my own business. And I taught upper level science in the homeschool community in Palm Beach County, and my youngest daughter was in her last year of high school. And I felt a woman of faith, and I felt like God told me to go back to school. I thought he was kidding. I didn't do anything. And about 6 months later, he goes, "Why haven't you taken the GRE?" And I'm like, oh, you weren't kidding. Oh, okay. So I figured out that there was no minimum score required of the GRE, and I thought, if they don't care, I don't care. So I took the test that week. It's not an MBA program, right? And about halfway through the program, it's a 3-year program. I always say, I was talking to a friend of mine, and goes, "Oh man, I'll be 51 by the time I graduate." She goes, "Well, how old will you be in 3 years if you don't graduate?"
Not true.
That is a very good point. So went back to school, and about halfway through, I was down in Pompano, heard a guy talk about starting a safe house in Kansas City. And I am in the back, wrecked, like snot and tears, just messed over. And I went, oh my goodness, this is why God sent me back to school. Somehow, someway, someday. This is what I was born to do. So that's how I got into it. That was in 2010. Well, I heard the guy speak in 2008. I graduated in 2010, started a nonprofit in 2011. So I've been doing it, 11, 12 years.
So explain to us, like people that don't understand, like what all does trafficking become? Like some of the things that you told me, I would have never thought that
So I ran a safe house for about 5 years. The big deal for a gal getting out of trafficking is she doesn't have any place to go. She doesn't have a job, very often doesn't have appropriate clothing, doesn't have any way to feed herself, and so she's stuck because she doesn't have a lot of other options. And he talked about me carrying a gun. This man that I first heard speak, they had rescued, I think it was 6 gals in Kansas City, and they took them to a domestic violence shelter. And about a week and a half later, a limousine pulls up, dark windows, and 2 guys get out with guns, march those gals out, and they never heard from them again. And I went, over my dead body. And so So I went and took a class and got my concealed carry, and I've tried to go shooting at least once a week because if I'm going to carry, I want to be proficient. And we had people look. You know what? We had a gal in our house, in the safe house, whose parents trafficked her from 3 years old. And they were looking for her. They sent a letter to my home, which was where the nonprofit was registered. It was not where the safe house was, but it wasn't far away. And she has a service dog, and I would walk her service dog because she had hurt her ankle. And I'm carrying, and I'm going to make my day. I can't say it like Dirty Harry, but but I thought, oh my goodness, I'm glad I don't know these people. I would probably be in prison. But the whole thing was they would come and beat her up and drag her back. And I'm going, not on my watch. Not going to happen on my watch. So that's.
You're saying right now just made me think of something. Like, how many of us know people that you can't get out of a real relationship? There's not abuse, like because of the things that you just said. We have 2 incomes right now. Now I'm only down to 1. Like I went through a divorce and I had money at the time, but it still financially makes your brain go, maybe I should stay for a few more years. Like, so I can't even imagine somebody that doesn't have those resources and things of that nature. And that's a lot of what she does, and that's what this is all about, is putting together something, right, that helps people get out of that. And so the second question that she's always asked is,
How come they don't run away? How come they don't, if they're not physically restrained, I have worked with gals that were physically restrained, but if they're not physically restrained, why don't they run away?
and that's a viable question, because somebody you think, oh, I can just walk out anytime. Once again, how many have been in a relationship or something we just didn't feel like we could walk away from? That's without physical threat. That's without somebody maybe using drugs to, coerce you or keep you in a certain state. And so when she and I were talking about it, I said, you know what? She had some ladies that have actually been involved in this that were willing to share their story. So instead of she or I, she trying to explain it to you, she's going to introduce someone that's going to come up and tell you a little bit about their story.
So I'm going to introduce Krista. Krista is a survivor, and I've known her for, 10 years, something like that. And she's one of my heroes. Because, it takes a lot of work to move past something like that. And she has, and she's, volunteering. She does the pop-up at the laundromat stuff with us. She's amazing. She works with the John School. So why didn't you run away?
Because I didn't know I could.
You might want to switch it back to the car.
Basically because I didn't know I could. I was a young woman. I was about 19 years old, met a really handsome man at a bar. And he told me all kinds of lies. Lies that I wanted to believe. We would have a house. We would have a family. We would do this. We would do that. We would have the rest of our lives together. All I had to do was do what he wanted me to do. And I come from a background of sexual abuse, and that sets a woman up, it sets anybody up for frailties and vulnerabilities that allows them to believe those lies. And honestly, it's taken me close to 40 years to stop believing those lies that I believed when I was a young woman. For 30 years, what I did was kept a secret. And my mother, my father, and my younger sister, all 3 went to their graves without knowing what I did in 1979 with my life. So it's not something any polite society wants to talk about. So I met met this man, he talked me into doing what he wanted me to do, and I did it. I didn't run because I didn't know I could. He had me believing all those lies. And I always tell people that we all believe lies. Everybody here believes a lie somehow, somewhere. But I believe the lie that led me to destruction. And the complex trauma and complex mental health issues that I carried most of my life. Having said that, I did escape. God is such an awesome God. My pimp, he ended up getting jealous because I guess he loved me somehow. And he took me away, he took me back. That was really good, I didn't have to sell my body, right? But he brought me into a horrific domestic violence situation where 10 or 12 years ago I had to have surgery on my neck because he had done so much damage to my spine. So I ended up, again, believing those lies. I ended up having a baby with him and marrying him. So try extracting yourself from a bad situation when you're married and have a little boy. And, but that happened. It was because of my son that I got to escape because that was not going to happen. It happened to me as a kid. It was not going to happen to my kid. We were not going, it was over with him. So we escaped, and he is 42 years old. He has a beautiful wife. He has a beautiful job. He is relatively well-adjusted considering his dad is who he is. And we escaped. I raised 2 beautiful boys. I was married for almost 25 years to a really nice man, and but didn't start working on my stuff until when I was in my 50s, and I started remembering the sexual abuse that I had when I was a kid. And that's when I met Becky, because I figured if she could help those crazy women who sold their bodies, she certainly could help this mom that lived in Delray Beach. You know what I mean? And when I went to visit first time, she said, oh, I told her I was a prostitute. And she said, maybe not. So I've been dealing with that ever since.
Thank you, Krista.
So, the third thing is people ask you, what is the third? Why didn't she burn out? I have people that ask me that when I do my business. I deal with people on a daily basis that make me want to walk into traffic because I have to teach people how to become entrepreneurs. I have to teach people how to get over their fears and their insecurities. And she does the same thing, but she and I were talking about it, and I don't get burnt out because it's my passion. And I know she doesn't get burnt out because it's her passion. And when you see someone like Krista and her where she's come from and where she is right now, that's what drives people like us. And I know that she's got someone else she wants to share, but I really want her to share a little bit about, this has been a journey for you. Like, I've seen the ups and downs that she's had. Like, she's come to me and talked to me like, I need to rebrand this thing. How do I do? Like, it's a hard thing because, listen, everybody can get behind talking about cancer. That's okay. That's sweet. Everybody knows about that. You can go on walks. You can do listen, those things are amazing. Like, we all need to worry about those, but we also need to worry about things where people are hurting other people. Like, that's what means the most to me. Like, when I can end someone's suffering, whether it's through my business, whether it's through my friendship, whether it's through whatever it is, and you can take someone from where they were and help them become who they really should be, that's when life gets fun. So I want you to bring up the last person that they're going to share about why she doesn't burn out.
So I'd like to introduce Jill, who is another one of my heroes. She and Krista we do this thing, it's called Pop-Up at the Laundromat. And so once a week we go, and I have posters up in West Palm Beach in the north end that said, if you're living a life you never wanted to live in a place you never wanted to be, we'll do your laundry. We'll do the laundry for the first 8 women that come. And we're building relationships. This last week, one gal said, I want to get off the street. and she's clean. I already set up phone calls to get her connected with the right services, and Jill is there every week because there's something called earned authority, and she's got it in spades. So I thought maybe you could tell us how the program impacted you.
So I reached out to Becky for therapy when I had been out for sex trafficking for a few years. I realized I really needed some therapy, so I reached out to Becky, and I did actually have some therapy before then, but the therapists were just not equipped to deal with what I had been through. And Becky was great. It was the best decision I ever made. I was able to really go through therapy, and we really analyzed and put the dots together, my story, and connect the past to how I got into how I was sex trafficked. And totally forgot that program with the pop-up. Yeah. So the pop-up at the laundry is in West Palm Beach and Broadway, and we go there every Tuesday at the same time because we want the girls to see us at the same time at the same place to make sure that when they're ready to leave, they can come there and we can help them. You know, we go there, we put up the tent, the chairs, we have refreshments for them, we have toiletries, and we just go there and we just talk to the girls, and we really meet them where they are because maybe they're just hungry that day, or maybe they do want to talk to us about whatever is going on in their life that week. And you know, just to show them that I go there to show them you can have a life out of prostitution, whatever is, you know, there is hope, because when you're there, you're hopeless, you're depressed, you're suicidal, you see no way out. And I was there, and I tell them my story, and I share, you can get out and you can have a life.
All right, so now we get to talk about the good part of this. Some of you are like, one person said they're going to kill me for making them come here, but I just know how important this is. Like, whenever we decided to do this, when I do a seminar, and we did one last weekend, I'm trashed for about 2 weeks. Like, my voice is shot. Last weekend I had a cut on the bottom of my tongue that I couldn't heal for 3 or 4 days, and this is the last thing I wanted to do tonight until I got here, until I saw her. Because I know that if we don't do something to help her, nobody else is going to. Like, and there's nobody that's out there spearheading something like this. Like, you hear a lot about a lot of charities, but these are things you don't want to talk about. These are things that aren't exciting. That's why when we did this NFT, which I'm going to share with you in a second about what it is, we did it to make it, like when she named it LightHouse, that's so appropriate. Because we have a lighthouse right here. You can almost see it from this balcony. And she's a lighthouse for these women. And then they get to be a lighthouse for other people. And that's what I teach in my companies. It's like, when you learn something, don't keep it to yourself. You go out and help somebody else. You help build them. And so I'm so excited about what she's going to do. And I want you to share a little bit about your vision for the future for Lighthouse and what you really want to accomplish and those big dreams that I know you have.
Is this still on? So one of the things that there's a number of things. For one, we ran a safe house for about 5 years. And this is actually where I met Paul, because on the stage, when I was speaking, I said, yeah, I'm a much better therapist than I am a fundraiser. And so he met me when I got off the stage and said, wow, I'd like to help. So we'd like to reopen a safe house. The closest safe house is in Tampa. But we estimate, just looking at massage parlors and escort services, arrests, and I'm forgetting something. In Palm Beach County, we estimate somewhere between 2,000 and 2,400 women being commercially sexually exploited here. And I meet them in the John School. The John School is where if you get arrested for prostitution, either buying or selling, you can take the class. morning starts with, STIs, and then usually Krista will share her story. Sexually transmitted infection, okay? And then in the afternoon, we have a group therapy session, really, with a man that runs it. And he said he's had guys come to him in tears, going, I just never knew. And so it's making a difference. Every woman that's gone through that program, every time we've run the program, there's been a woman that wants out. And wow, what an opportunity. So that's what we do, but we'd like to reopen a safe house. And we'd like to create transitional housing. So when they get out of a safe house program, there's a place where they can live, and if they lose their job or their car blows up, they won't get bounced at the end of the month and be back on the street. Just to kind of give them the sea legs to be able to go forward. Most of the women that I've worked with, maybe I should say all of the women that I've worked with, grew up in families that were so wildly dysfunctional that they didn't have the opportunity to learn basic life skills. I have my life skills that I have mostly because my mom was upright, and she mowed the yard and paid her bills and painted the house, and that was just like, of course you do that, right? It wasn't because I was smart, it was because it was modeled for me, and if it's not modeled for you, then you have to learn it later in life where it's harder. But we've had, I think to date, almost 80 women that have gone through the program at some level, and we're making a difference. It's not a big corporation. There's me and a few other volunteers. One of my board members is here. Thank you, Brenda, for coming. Another one is in Switzerland. Her son won some kind of a deal with robotics. Oh, very well. You can go to Switzerland. But, it's just a bunch of people that care and are willing to get involved and get your fingernails dirty. And there's actually Shar, Talmadge runs Rescue Upstream. There's actually a group. We put together a group in Palm Beach County calling Sharing One Love. And it's Shar does outreach online for women that are being sold online. She does outreach on the streets. And there's Catholic Charities that does a lot of work with a really large grant with the Palm Beach County Sheriffs. There's Community of Hope. So we're working together. It's not just me. We're working together so that all the bases are covered and there's not duplication of services. And we put that together last year, year before last? Yeah. So there's a place for anybody to plug in. Where do you want to volunteer? How do you want to contribute? From, we had a 1% campaign. The statistics are around 1% of the women that have been in the life get out. They either die or are killed, and lives are so trashed that they can't go forward. And so, we tell people, give us 1%. I don't care, 1% of what you pay for coffee a month. But it's that monthly support that makes a difference, and it's the whole county working together, people in this area. So, yeah, we're just trying to do 1% at a time, make a difference.
Well, we're going to do something about it. Thank you so much. I'm going to... So with our business, a long time ago, I sat in these events with charity things, and I even had a friend of mine that we tried to put something together because I believe if it made sense for a business financially, businesses would do a lot more to help charities. I truly believe that. And we actually even started a program at the time where we tried to do events and we tried to do big things where a business could actually run and make money off of it, and the charity would be involved with it. And I did that with a lot of charities, but it was really hard to get the charities to change their way of thinking. Because how many realize if you've always done something a certain way, you keep doing it a certain way? Well, my mentor taught me a long time ago, find a problem, find a big problem, find a big solution, come up with a big paycheck. Well, we started looking into NFTs. And so we want to do something, and I really, how many wish you had 20 people here right now with you to see what we just talked about? Like you do, right? And so this is the first time. And so what I suggest we do, we're going to do this tonight, and we're going to do this NFT, but we're going to redo this. Sometimes you get to start, and then you get to start over. Because if every one of you knew what she was going to talk about, and the ladies and their story and where they came from, I guarantee you this room would be so packed out, we wouldn't be able to stand in here. And so last weekend, I know, and tonight we've already got, $500 in donations that are coming in. Last weekend, I think we had around 2,000 or something, or 2,500 that came in. And so I know that what we do tonight is going to be a springboard for where we're going to go. And so I'm going to explain to you how our NFTs work. And some of you may be more confused at the end of it, but I hope you're excited. Like, because this is the wave of the future. Like, how many of you have heard of crypto, right? Crypto. Some of people love crypto. You either love crypto or you hate crypto, right? How many of you have ever even heard of what an NFT is before? Anyone? Good. Well, thanks, Giorgio, because you talked to me. So an NFT, like I said, it's a non-fungible token. And what it is it's a piece of art. But what the most important part of it is the utility, the value that goes with it. So tonight, you're going to get the opportunity to not only donate, you get the tax write-off, all those things that go with it, but you also are going to get value. Because I believe that when people, if they went to there's a silent auction in the back, right? How many of us probably didn't even go look at the silent auction yet? Because a lot of people, Giorgio, you can't, you only have one eye. Just kidding. But the silent auction, it's a great thing, and some of those things back there are amazing. There's different pictures from artists that have signed it. There's some of the NFTs that are put on glass. But we want everyone to be able to have an NFT. And we sold one. I'll tell you the story of it real quickly. I had this duck in my pocket, and so there's this duck. And I tell the story because it's a good story, first of all. But second of all, it's how this whole thing came about. My partners, Kenny and Rochelle, that own Twisted Tuna, which give them a hand for the food and the drinks. They have amazing food here. Like, I would tell you to come back and try everything on their menu, because I don't think anyone's ever had anything bad here. But we were up at last year, was it last year? Last year around November, we were up in Orlando, and we were at Disney Springs, and there's a place called the Boathouse. And I don't know, but we may or may not have had one or two drinks that night that were adultish. And so I'm watching Kenny, and he's up at the bar, and he's talking to the bartender, and I'm like, oh, God, another place we're going to get thrown out of. Just kidding. But he walked up to the bar, and he was like, I'd like to order the duck. And I saw the bartender go, we don't serve duck here. He goes, I know, but I'd like to order the duck. And I'm like, yep, this is how it goes. This is when we get thrown out. And he kept saying it over and over. And finally the guy goes, oh, you know how you can, like, I couldn't hear everything, but I could see the look of, like, the guy finally got it. And he goes, oh. And he brought a duck out like this. And he gave it to Kenny. Because they had a drink that they sold that had a duck in it. And I'm like, oh, God, this is going to be bad. Because I know how immature he and I are. And so the rest of the night, he's got it in his drink. He's talking to it. He's petting it. And he's like, you don't have one of these? And I'm like, and it bothered me very badly. I'm not going to lie. It bothered me horribly. And so I was sitting there the whole night. And he's like, you're not. I'm like, I want one of those. Do you have an extra? No, I don't have any ducks. So the next day, they said, where do you want to go to lunch? And I'm like, we should go back to the Boathouse. They're like, we were just there last night. And in my head, I'm like, I'm getting one of them ducks. And so we went back to the Boathouse. We sat at the bar, and I said to the bartender, I go, hey, can I get one of those ducks like he has? And she goes, well, you go. And he's already got it out, talking to it, mocking me. I don't know why his wife hangs out with us, but I do know to keep us out of trouble. But the bartender said, well, the only way you're going to get this duck is if you buy it. And I'm like, I don't want to buy it. I don't want that drink. It looks like mud. Like, I'm not drinking that. And I'm like, how much is it? She goes, $24.60. And I'm like, are you definitely not buying that stupid duck? And she goes, and then it became a joke back and forth. And finally she goes, well, the only way you're going to get this duck is if you buy that drink. And I'm like, you want to bet? So I went on Amazon and I bought 50 for $12. And then I promptly forgot that I ordered these things. And I got home 2 days later, and there's a package on the doorstep, and I have a 20-year-old son, and I walked in the house screaming, what did you buy on my stinking Amazon? And as I ripped the cup, I was like, oh, God, there's yellow. And it hit me. How am I going to explain to my 20-year-old why his 51-year-old father has a bunch of ducks delivered to the house? And he goes, what'd you get? I'm like, go to your room. It's not none of your business. It's fine. And so then, a couple days later, they own another restaurant, and I met Kenny there, and I said, here's your ducks, half of them. I gave him 25 ducks, and I had the other two. He goes, what are we going to do with these? And I'm like, I don't know. Right about that time, it was perfect, because one of his managers had fired somebody that should have been fired a long time ago. And I go, what's this? I go, hey, come here. I go, you get the first Do the Right Thing Duck Award. And Kenny's like, where did you pull that out of? I'm like, the same twisted flame you got.
This guy was so excited about getting this duck, you would have thought we gave him like a real award.
just started giving them to anyone. And a couple of days later, he came to me, he goes, I don't think that duck award was that really important. And I'm like, he goes, you give that to everyone. And then it became a thing. Then everybody came to me, hey, can I get one of those ducks? Then somebody goes, hey, what's your duck's name? And I'm like, Doug. Not thinking rubber duck, rubber Doug. Like, things happen for a reason to us. And so it just kept progressing and progressing, and people were asking it. Then I had to buy more of these stupid things. Then I ended up starting texting myself. I would text myself as the duck. It was actually better therapy than probably what Becky does, but I would text myself as the duck, go back and forth, and then all of a sudden we started hearing about NFTs. And I'm like, what is an NFT? And then everybody was asking for this duck. It became a whole thing. And we went to a conference one day, and I carry these ducks with me all the time, and I don't know which one of it, probably wasn't me, because I'm not the smartest of us three, but one of us was like, we should turn Doug into an NFT. And I'm like, I have no clue what that means, but it sounds cool. And so we started studying what NFTs were and how it could work, and I really thought it was all about the artwork. And we went to Pedro, and I said, hey, can your brother-in-law do this art of this duck? And he's like, okay, you do have the problems our whole family think you have. But it became a thing. And then we had a conference in Vegas, and that's when we kind of launched this thing. And after that conference is when they decided to go, hey, you know what? This could work with charities. This, we could put something together with art and value that goes along with it. And in Vegas, we had value. Like when I said, and I'm gonna do it tonight. We're gonna put a QR code up here on the screen, and you'll be able to buy one of these. There's two different prices. There's one for $500. There's one for $200. But what you gotta understand is it's not the value that's just right now. Over time, if you own this NFT, we'll have conferences that you can go to. We'll have when this thing gets bigger and we have a gala, she can add that into the NFT and you can get access to it. When we did this in Vegas, I had about 120 people, 130 people in the room. I did not know what was gonna happen, but I went on stage, I said, listen, we have this NFT, I told the story about Doug, and I said, if you buy this NFT, you're gonna get free delivery for life, which, that was it with my company. Now, if you buy it tonight, you get free delivery for a year with us. That's $120 value. There's other things that I'll tell you that go along with it that I'll get to in just a second. But I said, listen, you can go to my next training. How many think it'd be awesome to be able to sit through a training with Becky that maybe could show you how to spot signs of somebody that's being trafficked? Like, those are things, I deal with people on a daily basis. I used to own a pawn shop, and I would have people come in. I never knew that any of them were in those situations. You think that might have been helpful if I would have known what she knows? What if we could have a free training where she did that for the people that hold this NFT? What if we did, different events where you got there's so many things that we can do, and you're gonna be the people that own the inaugural one. We're gonna do this in another 30 to 60 days, and we'll pack this out. So tonight is kind of a kickoff thing for it, but I'm gonna tell you how it goes. So all these NFTs are gonna get snap delivered for a year. Free delivery for a year with our company. Coastal Marketing, who's that? Coastal Market. What is it?
It's a market, coastal market.
So it's a food place, right?
No, it's a furniture store that kind of does the, ocean, coastal.
Might be nice if the guy doing this would learn a little bit about the places before he got up there and talked about it. And nobody asked you. So Coastal Market, you're gonna get a 20% discount, and that could be forever, correct?
She gave coupons that you walk in the store and.
When you walk in and you're able to show your NFT, you'll be able to do it. And guess what we're gonna do as time goes on? We're gonna add more and more value to these things. Snap Delivered is giving free delivery, but we're gonna add more things on. As businesses come on and this organization gets bigger, we'll be able to add more on it, and you're not gonna have to pay extra. And at some point down the road, when there's only a limited amount of these, there's only 50 of these total. There might be people that wanna buy it. You own it, so you can sell it, you can trade it, you can do whatever you want with it, and we're gonna add value. I have some big plans in my head that I haven't even told any of the people that work with us about as we go along, that I have other organizations that we're gonna be doing big things with. I'm working with some people that are big influencers in the influencer space. We're gonna maybe do a concert where you would be able to use that NFT to go to the concert for free. Maybe get backstage and see some of the artists. So there's a lot of things that are gonna go into this, but tonight, there's one for 500. Garrett, you may need to help me. So here's the diamond. There's a diamond level. I got it actually. Diamond level NFT. Kerry Chen. Tell people about Kerry Chen a little bit, who he is and what he does.
Kerry Chen is a local underwater artist. They say that there's two fantastic underwater artists. They say that there's two great, fantastic underwater artists. One of them is Kerry Chen. The other one we don't talk about. Kerry Chen is amazing. He's a local artist. He does a ton of stuff. And the most amazing thing about his art was that he didn't know he had the ability to do it. So he was fishing with the other artists that we don't talk about. And he looked at him and said, well, because they don't like each other and we like Kerry Chen a lot. Not that the other guy isn't great, right? But they were fishing together and Kerry looks over at the guy and goes, what are you doing isn't so hard? And the guy goes, are you kidding me? You think you can do it? So he picked up a paintbrush and he painted those beautiful underwater scenes that you see behind us. Talk about a hidden talent, absolutely amazing. He signed several of those, which are back there. So when you do purchase one of these $500 NFTs, you have the opportunity to receive one of those. So the great thing that we did with our NFTs, and this was all Becky, which was amazing, each NFT has a specific number that's associated with that NFT. Okay, which is that digital art. So each piece of art that you get is going to be a unique piece of art. And that art has a number attached to it. And that number correlates with something of added value. So for example, there's $25 gift card attached from Twisted Tuna. There's a $500 piece of artwork from Kerry Chen. There's the ability to get everything in between. There's electric bike rentals, $150 value. So when you look at these NFTs that are valued between $200 and $500, you'll see that the value that you're getting for them is worth more right today than even what you're buying it for. With that being said, if you can look in the back, you see where our silent auction table is. On the left and the right, you'll see two different examples of our NFT. Both of those have been printed with the Palm Beach Lighthouse on them. One is on metal and one is on board. And that's what your NFT looks like. If you wanted to get it printed up, put it on your wall. These are what people do with these things. Those are unique. So I compare it to kind of the Mona Lisa. Everybody has copies of the Mona Lisa, but if you had the first Mona Lisa, wouldn't that be amazing? And that's what you have. You have the opportunity to actually own the one that is associated with you, that is tied to a blockchain, that has your name and number associated with that. It's kind of amazing. It is the wave of the future. Dun, dun, dun.
And listen, so I know some people like right now are going, I still don't get it. I still didn't get it. But what I did get was there's a gentleman that actually named, and I want to go through real quickly. I want you to listen, this is the first time that we've actually done this like this, but I'll tell you, when I did it in Vegas with our company with 120 people, we raised $33,000 in 4.5 minutes. And we're gonna give you the opportunity tonight I would get your cameras out so you can see the process and we'll show you, walk you through it. But I wanna go through the staff of people that helped us put this together. Like, they're learning this as they go. There's some of them have full-time jobs, some of them have other businesses, but they have such a heart for what this is that we really put a lot of time and effort into it. I brought Becky to our whole company last weekend, and I'm very selective about who I put in front of our people because I don't trust everybody. I know people a lot of times have ulterior motives. They're there to make money off of what you're doing. And I called Becky probably the day before, about 2 days before, and I said, hey, I want you to come on this little cruise we're doing for everyone, and then I want you to come speak on Sunday morning. So what we do is have an amazing ability to plan things when everybody wants to have fun. Sunday morning, talking about Jesus, we're talking about sex trafficking, so we don't always get our timing down right. But the great thing about what this is that I keep telling you, the light at the end of the tunnel, I get so excited because of what she's doing that's positive. And to see someone, it's Krista, right? Krista, like, hearing her story and where she's at now, there's not an ounce of me that would have ever doubted how much confidence she has now. Like, she has the confidence. She could speak probably in front of 20,000 people in front of Congress and everything else. But it comes from the fact that someone like Becky helped her along that way. And now she can turn around and go and do that for other people. And that's it. When I was 22 years old, I was homeless. At that point, I wasn't homeless, but I had been. I had amazing parents. My parents were missionaries. I was brought up the right way, and I ended up going down the wrong path. I ended up living, at 22 years old, I was living with 3 guys in a house. I had no car. I met a guy at 22 that goes, listen, how long do you want to be broke? How long do you want to be depressed? How long do you want to, have this over and over and over, this cycle you're going through? And thank God for me, it happened at 22 that I broke that cycle. But there's a lot of people that don't break that cycle until they're in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. But thank God there's people like Becky and people like in this room that are doing that. When I saw her post about the laundromat thing, I was like, you know what, that's something so small, but it's so big. Because that's probably one of the only places some of these guys don't want to go with them. Don't want to don't want to be there. Like, I'm not going to do that. That's a woman's thing. Guess what? That's so brilliant that that's where they are, because they get them the time to speak to them. They get the time to be around them. And when she said earlier, when she said that they're there every week at the same place, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for consistency. Our children look for consistency, and they're looking for somebody that's going to be there, because that one day that you're not, that might have been the day they made that decision. And so I want to make sure that as a company, with what we do and how we go forward, that we really, really support this. So I'm going to tell you some of the things you get. On the Diamond NFT, if you purchase one tonight for $500, you're going to have a chance at the Carrie Chen. Tom Lynch is another artist. Is he local too? Yes. He's all about golf courses, right? Well, I mean, if he ever needs somebody to model for the amazing golf, I'll do it for him, free of charge. He would not want that. But Bright Reflections, Canyon Sparkle is another painting. And if you purchase one of these, it's random, so you get the opportunity. But that money is all going to the charity. That's what this is all about. It's about going to LightHouse Palm Beach County so that she can raise that money and start doing great things with it. The diamond in it, that's Autumn Walk. There's a couple of different pictures, but all of them are gonna get the Coastal Market 20% discount. They're gonna get the Snap Delivered, free delivery for a year. And I promise you, I told Becky, now that I got past my seminar and things like that, I've got a lot of friends. I'm gonna go make sure we add an enormous amount of value to this. We're gonna go out and get more things and put it into this. So tonight, you'll be able to purchase it, but it won't close tonight. We've got 50 of them. If we sell them all tonight, that's amazing. But if not, go home, talk to people. We'll put this video up online so people can see it. But we've got a lot of people in my company that are watching right now. So I would make sure when we put this up on the screen, you get it as quick as possible. Let's go back to here. So you're gonna actually have a chance if you do the $200 one there's different things. Carmine's Gourmet Market, there's a gift card for that. Is that what it is? They're giving away gift cards. Adidas Design, the ankle or wrist bracelet, that's back there. That could be one of the things you win. On Your Mark, Bicycle, e-bike rental for 2. I don't know exactly. E-bikes scare the crap out of me, but they're big time now, right? Like, people are really starting to use it. You see them all over the place now. So you could have the chance to get that. There's also another picture back there for that. Nautical Adventures rental for 2 kayaks or paddle boards. That's huge. I live on Singer Island. You could win that. Chelsea Gun Collection digital discount. What is that? Somebody tell me what Chelsea Gun is. Look at that. So you have the opportunity to win that dress. I mean, don't take it off of her until we get out of here, but Kelsey Theater gift certificate. Kelsey Theater season's about to start, I think, right now. It's right up the road here. There's a gift certificate for that. One of you will win that. La Fogata's Mexican Restaurant. Okay, I'm buying one for sure. Southern Kitchen Diner. That's where you and I went to breakfast, I think, the first time. Frigates Waterfront Bar and Grill. There's a gift certificate in there for that. Lot Brothers Marine Supply Store. Someone will get that. Salty Signs Design Class Discount. What is that for?
The Christmas tree back there, that's a class on how to make something fun like that. And so you can sign up for whatever you want, you get a discount.
To take the class, awesome. Twisted Tuna gift certificate. If you like that food tonight, you're gonna love it a lot more when you get it downstairs. Local Gastro Pub gift certificate. Kelsey City Brewing. Juno Shoe Girl. That's a shoe store, I take it. Get a value in that. Another Twisted Tuna gift certificate. There's a few of those. Snap Delivered is our company. There's an insulated cup. Last weekend we had a limited edition that we gave out to some of the people in our company. But now what I want to teach you how to do. How many of you are ready? Like, you psyched yourself up on how to do an NFT. All Okay, thanks, Daniel. So, you got it? You ready? Come on, Daniel. Don't be whooping. So, here's what you're going to want to do. Take out your phone. Whether you purchase it or not right now is inconsequential, but I want to show you how it works. So, if you take your phone and point it at the screen, a little thing yellow should come up. Right here it says snapcares.io. You click on that. Deborah, if you can do this, I'll look at your radio showing off before I'm so see it. So once you do this, and I'm going to buy one right now while we're sitting here. Anybody need help? You might have to zoom in. All right, good. So now what you do is just go down to here. Say to the microphone. You're going to scroll down and continue with email. So you're going to scroll down. You're going to continue with your email. Do you see where it says right here, continue with email? Actually, that went to... Put your email in there. Does anybody need help? Assistance? I didn't take a picture. I was going to say, you took a picture. Giorgio, help me. You don't take a picture, you just hold on. Well, she might need help. You get it? Anybody can jump around and help out. That'd be awesome. Walking in circles. It may not be. So once you continue with email, does anybody need help? Is it called paper? Yep. Okay. That's it? All right. Yep. And then it'll come up right in a second. All you're going to have to do is hit continue with email. So I'll show you how it works real quick. You're going to hit continue with email once you get there. Put your email in.
It might go to your junk email, mine did.
So you're going to log into paper. Yeah. So when you get it, there it is. Time services is great. So once you put that in, yeah, that might help. So go to your, whatever email you put in,
I just wanted to do something just to say thanks. It's very rare that people actually are willing to invest in people that work in this area. And it's not much, it's not the flashy ones in the back, but I had one of the designs printed up, and I wanted to say thanks to Garrett and Twisted Tuna for all your work. And Snap Cares and Snap Delivered. I just am so thankful.
I'll finish this and you can do your little photos. Go back to your little camera. So this is very sweet that she did this for us. And while we end this, there's a song that I've asked Garrett to get ready to play. And listen, there's other ones that are for 500, and we're going to do this again. And this is just a start. And now that you understand what it is, next time this will be bigger and better, and you'll be able to. And listen, I think something like this is something, if you ever have somebody that you're like, hey, you know what? They might have some issues. They may be having some problems. Bringing to something like this, I know at our event, when we did it on the boat, there were a couple of ladies that came up to Becky and said, I'm dealing and I have dealt with issues like this. And like, I saw her take one of the ladies in our company out by the pool and spend some time with her. And it's like, every segment of our society has people that have something like this going on with them. So I would make sure that you understand this song that we're gonna play as we end this. And I want you to understand, and we appreciate how taking a Friday night to come be a part of something like this it's not lost on us. And we appreciate you being here. This is a start of what we're gonna do. It's not the finish. And hearing about the whole thing with the laundromat and hearing more about that, I'm so excited about where this is gonna go. And I always tell people in our company, we're gonna make a dent in the universe with my company and the things that we're gonna do. I believe 1,000,000%, Becky, along with our help, is gonna make a dent in sex trafficking and taking care of people. So we appreciate you tonight. Listen to this song and listen to the words. It talks about being in the Hall of Fame. And I believe people like Krista, they may not think she probably does think it's a huge thing, but when you're getting out of it, you just want to get out of it. You don't feel like you're going to be in any Hall of Fame. You don't feel like you're anything important. But I'll tell you what, she's come through more in her life than I've ever experienced. I feel like I go through some things some days, but it pales in comparison to what she deals with and the other young lady that was here. So I promise you, this is not where our company's going to end with this, and we're going to do something about this. So play this song. We'll be in the back. If you got your NFT, we'll show you how to collect the things you got, and we'll do this all over again very soon.
Yeah, you can be the greatest, you can be the best, you can be the King Kong banging on your chest. You can beat the world, you can beat the war, you can talk the guy, go banging on his door. You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock, you can move a mountain, you can break rocks. You can be a master, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you go find yourself. Standing in the Hall of Fame. And the world's gonna know your name. Cause you're better with the brightest flame. And the world's gonna know your name. And you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame. You can go the distance, you can run the mile, you can walk straight through hell with a smile. You could be the hero, you can get the gold, breaking all the records they thought never could be broke. Yeah, do it for your people, do it for your pride. You ain't ever gonna know if you never even tried. Do it for your country, do it for your name, cause there's gonna be a day when you're standing in the Hall of Fame. And the world's gonna know your name. Cause you're better with the brightest flame. Astronauts be champions, be truth seekers, be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers, be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions, standing in the Hall of Fame. And the world's gonna know your name. 'Cause you burn with the brightest flame. And the world's gonna know your name. And be on the walls of the Hall of Fame. Be a champion, you can be the best. You can be a champion, hanging on your chest. You can be a champion, you can be the world. You can be a champion, hanging on your wall. You can be a champion, you can be the clock. You can move a mountain, you can break rocks. You can be a champion, don't wait for luck. Then it be a champion, are you really standing in the Hall of Fame?
A no man's land and everyone's land. Welcome to the great between. More power for your pursuit. The Mazda CX-30 2.5 Turbo.
If you got your NFT and you got it downloaded and you have a number, if you need
Start
help,
your project
Miranda
at the
knows
Floor &
more about
Decor
this than any
Design
of us,
Studio.
obviously.
Our upscale showroom
But she will help you.
features
You got your
Floor &
number, you
Decor's
can go to the
top-quality
back here
selection
and
of
they will
tile,
get you the
wood,
things that go
stone,
along with it.
and more. Enjoy
Right,
a
Becky?
personalized experience with the benefits of free
People come
design
back here.
services and samples at your fingertips.
So that numbers? Okay, so come back here with your number. Giorgio, did you get yours? She got hers? Okay. Miranda, can you help one more person? Giorgio. Giorgio and his eye. So if you go back.
I guess I just lost my husband. I don't know where he went. So I'm gonna take my money. I'm not gonna pay his rent. I got a brand new attitude and I'm gonna wear it tonight. I wanna get in trouble. I wanna start a fight. Na 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 na. I wanna start a fight.
you really being honest, if you really want this. Ooh, oh, why you acting like a stranger? What's with your behavior? Ooh, oh, say my name, say my name. If you love me, let me hear you. Say my name, say my name. I am dying to believe you. I feel alone in your arms. I feel you breaking my heart. Say my name, say my name. If you love me, let me hear you. Let me hear you. Let me hear you. Let me hear you.
Let go, come on. Escucha como digo tu nombre. Desde Medellín hasta Londres. Cuando te llamo la bala responde. No pregunta cuándo, solo dónde. Te dejas llevar de lo prohibido, eres adicta. Una adicción que sabes controlar. Y te deja llevar lo más caliente en la pista. Todo lo que tienes demuestra pa' que lo dan. Mordiendo mis labios, verás que nadie más está en mi camino. Nada tiene por qué importar, déjalo atrás, estás conmigo. Mordiendo mis labios, verás que nadie más está en mi camino. Nada tiene por qué importar, déjalo atrás, estás conmigo.
Say my name, say my name. If you love me, let me hear you. Say my name, say my name. I am dying to believe you. I feel alone in your arms. I feel you breaking my heart. Say my name, say my name. If you love me, let me hear you.
Lily was a little girl, afraid of the big white world. She grew up within a castle wall.